Hello everyone, welcome yourselves back to the channel and for another brand new show, which should be airing once a week with the occasional updates here and there, but it will also come under the same bracket if I do a football review or analysis of anything in relation to, say, the World Cup. So it could air multiple times per week, but if a lot of information comes out and we'll talk about it on a Friday or Saturday. But the reason why we're here today is obviously it's a Friday, so most episodes will air on a Saturday, but we're talking about the newly announced England team. If you are new to the channel, subscribe, and like as always, comment down below what sports you would like me to talk about. Everything sporting related will be on this show, excluding F1, as we have an F1 talk show, which airs predominantly every Sunday / very early Monday, depending when the race finishes. So if you're a fan of darts, football, boxing, and anything else in between, stay tuned for that coming in the future, especially Manchester United match analysis, reactions, and reviews in the future, starting from September. So, of course, or August, but depending when the season starts. And, of course, look forward to the World Cup analysis, reviews, and reactions coming very soon. And enjoy the video. So before we dive into the England team and my reaction, it was always going to be a difficult pick for Thomas Tuchel. But the big thing is we were on, Instagram yesterday and we were following Fabrizio Romano's page and seeing that Maguire, Luke Shaw, Foden, Palmer, all these class players who weren't getting picked. Foden and Palmer you can understand, but I think Shaw and Maguire have had excellent seasons and warranted a place in this team. But again, we'll talk about it as we disagree or agree to the players that have travelled. Al Nassr, just on a side note, did win the champions, our champions of their league. Ronaldo finally wins a trophy, a decent trophy after I think 3 seasons in Saudi Arabia, and obviously amazing news that Aston Villa won the Europa League the other night, giving Bournemouth, currently Champions League football, or it would be Brighton if Brighton win and Bournemouth lose on the final game of this season. So, without further ado, let's jump into the team and we'll see if we agree or disagree. And you guys can let me know down below your 26-man team, and I will let you know my 26-man team as I will replace certain players with other players. So, obviously, starting with the goalkeepers, I think there's no arguments on who the 3 goalkeepers are, with Jordan Pickford being the number 1, Dean Henderson and James Trafford. 3 fantastic goalkeepers for their respective teams, and I don't think there's any dispute on them. Already, we're going to have disputes in the defensive side of things as we talk about the fullbacks who have travelled. And you've got Livramento, 100% deserves to travel. Nico O'Reilly, one of the best fullback youngsters in the Prem in the past few seasons. He deserves to be on the main 11. And then you've got Reece James. So, I don't have any quarrels with those. I think you've just got to say Lewis Hall or Luke Shaw. One of those 2 deserve to be on the plane after the season they've had. And I can't exactly sit here and say Konza or Kwanzaa or Spence deserve more of a position than those 2. Yes, they are more centre back positions, but then you go, why is Dan Burn on the plane when Newcastle have been woeful this season and Harry Maguire has been fantastic? So and John Stones, but John Stones, you understand why he's going for the seniority side of things. So that's like, if you're going to bring a couple of seniority players, but Stones still has the quality. But then does it contradict why I'd want to drop someone else from the team later in this video? So in my opinion, Maguire deserves to travel ahead of Burn. Marc Guéhi, 100% deserves to be on the plane. He's been fantastic for Palace and City. Reece James, 100%. Livramento, Nico O'Reilly, and John Stones, yes. Jed Spence, I don't believe. Jed Spence, Konza, and Kwanzaa have all been fantastic. I haven't not watched enough of them, but I still think Hall and or Shaw warranted at least to replace one of these. But between the 3 of them, you could take 2 out of the 3, but Hall or Shaw had to be on the plane. They are my quarrels with the defence, and then Dan Burn shouldn't have travelled. Maguire should have, because I don't think Dan Burn has even played that many games in the recent run-up. I could be wrong. I've only seen bits and bobs, but I don't think he would have the same impact as Maguire would. Maguire's been fantastic in a 4-4-2 and a 3-4-3 formation for United this season. He's been adaptable. He's been one of our strongest players. And I'm not even being biased just because of Man United, but I think he is absolutely fantastic and deserves to travel. But it's a shame, and it's already been chosen. Moving into the midfield, Elliot Anderson, 100% deserves to be on the plane with Jude Bellingham. Kobbie Mainoo, who was almost his career bloody destroyed by Ruben Amorim, but has travelled, and 100% happy for him as he's been fantastic for Man United. Same for Declan Rice and same for Morgan Rogers. Your issue here is Eze was great at the start of the season when they first signed him, but he dropped off in my opinion, and I just think there was better options. Gibbs White 100% deserved a position in this team, and Adam Wharton. Adam Wharton deserved to be ahead of Jordan Henderson, and Gibbs White deserved to have Eze's position. Foden and Palmer, you can understand why they've not been taken, but I don't understand why he's chosen Eze and Henderson. But they're still great footballers, so I think they'll do a good job. But I still think they are the two that should have been taken out. And Gibbs White would have been phenomenal as a backup or an alternative to Rodgers, with Mainoo and Bellingham as the number 8 player, and then or Rice. It's hard. It's going to be hard to see who plays in these positions, but I guarantee you, if Henderson's playing most of these games, we will not win. He hasn't got the pace. He's been brilliant in a couple of games for Brentford, but he's not the same player he once was. Moving into the forward players, we've got Anthony Gordon, 100% deserves to be on the plane because we don't have many left wing options. Harry Kane is a starter. He's one of the best players in the football world at the moment. Marcus Rashford has been fantastic for Barcelona in a squad player role. Bukayo Saka, not been the greatest season, but he is our only right winger option, who I think deserves to be starting. And then you've got Madueke, Toney, and Watkins. Why are we bringing 3 strikers when only one of them is really going to play when we're playing a 7 or 8 game tournament realistically? He should have dropped Toney or Watkins. Toney's been playing in Saudi Arabia, so the footballing quality is not as good, but he's still a great talent. Watkins or Welbeck, if you're going to bring 3, should have been the options. But again, you don't need 3 strikers. Madueke shouldn't have travelled. Bowen has been better than Madueke in a struggling West Ham team. He's been fantastic and brilliant in every chance he can be. So, yeah, so therefore you'd go maybe take Toney and Madueke out and bring Gibbs White and bring Bowen. But he's just made some really random decisions that make no sense. Why are you bringing 3 strikers? Why are you bringing Madueke? Just because Arsenal won the title does not mean they've been the best players in their positions. Maguire should have travelled. Gibbs White should have travelled. Adam Wharton should have travelled. Bowen and Shaw or Hall. They are my picks for extra players. And as I said, you understand why Foden, Palmer, Toney shouldn't be on the plane. Madueke shouldn't be on the plane. They are great footballers, but they are not the best in their positions to get us over the line. And I think the decisions will go against Tuchel. He'll get far, he'll do well, but again, some other countries have made decisions, like João Pedro not traveling for Brazil. So it's depending on how you look at football and what you think about certain things. But of course, they are my decisions. What are your thoughts about the England team? That is a 26-man team. Just to run through it one more time. Henderson, Pickford, Trafford, Byrne, Guai, James, Konsa, Livramento, O'Reilly, Kwanzaa, Spence, Stones, Anderson, Bellingham, Eze, Henderson, Mainoo, Rice, Rodgers, Gordon, Kane, Madueke, Rashford, Saka, Toney, and Watkins. What are your thoughts on the team? Do you think my additions and replacements are better? Who would you bring? Who would you add to the plane? Subscribe like as always, and we'll be back to see how England perform in the World Cup very soon. Goodbye for now.